You see, it depends. If she identifies, you see, as the Nigerianness in her, we've reached out to her once or twice without any response. So we don't force people to accept to be Nigerian. So if you appreciate the Nigerianness in you and you want to work with us, we're open to everybody, but we cannot force you to appreciate the Nigerianness in you. You remember the Miss Universe Nigeria in South Africa? She until she got into a little problem with South Africa, and she identified with Nigeria, came to Nigeria, we hosted her, received her warmly. Right. Listen, as long as that blood in you, you're Nigerian. So it's that to Kemi to decide whether she appreciates the Nigerianness in her, whether she wants to work with Nigeria, but we'll be glad to. But we cannot force anybody. There are some who will tell you that, I don't like that, your country. We can't force them, but we work with thousands and millions of Nigerians who are proud to be Nigerian despite the challenges. And we believe that no matter what, we are simply the best in the world. And despite our challenges, we'll get to where we truly belong, the top of the mountain.
Welcome to BattaBox, guys. Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to be looking at Kemi Badenoch. If she continues what she's doing, and if she remains in office as the opposition leader, she is on track to be the next Prime Minister of the UK if she's able to defeat Keir Starmer.
And running to be Prime Minister when you're a 42-year-old is by definition ambitious. But I am ambitious, but for our country and for our party. I chose to become a Conservative MP to serve, and I chose this country because here I could breathe free and I could be everything that I wanted to be. I grew up in Nigeria and I saw firsthand what happens when politicians are in it for themselves, when they use public money as their private piggy banks, when they promise the earth and pollute not just the air but the whole political atmosphere with their failure to serve others. I saw what socialism means for millions. It's poverty and broken dreams. I came to Britain determined to make my way in a country where hard work and honest endeavour can take you anywhere.
When I saw that she was elected as a new leader of the UK Conservative Party, I was like, what? I was so happy. I was excited that, oh my God, finally, the UK is moving from their past and they are actually moving to the future. They're electing a young lady who is 44. She's just 44 years old. So she's very, very young, relatively speaking. And she's also a woman of color. So I was really happy. I was very excited. Now, Kemi Badenoch is not someone who's new to politics. She's been around for some time. If you look on our Wikipedia page, you are going to see that from 2017, she was elected as an MP. She was an MP for Saffron Walden from 2017 to 2024. And now she's a leader of the opposition in the United Kingdom. And this is a big deal. It's actually a big deal because not only because she's a woman, but she's also a woman of color. And then she's also a Nigerian. So I was very excited and I was very happy. I called my buddies. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? The UK is changed and the UK is becoming like more like a little bit America in terms of them accepting people of different diverse backgrounds and people of different colors. So Kemi, again, is someone who was born in the UK, but then she moved back to Lagos. She grew up in Lagos, and then her parents, her mom particularly, went to America. So I think from Lagos, they moved to America. Then she moved back to the UK to go to college. So it's a very common Nigerian experience, Nigerian story, until someone sent me this video. And then I was like,
This is the past. We need to talk about the future. There are many countries now who want to use guilt to try and exploit the UK. They ask for reparations. I saw it as a trade minister. It's not culture wars. I was at the WTO. I won't name the minister from another country. And he was telling me that we needed to give up some of the things that we were doing because of colonialism and because they needed time to develop. These arguments are a scam. Don't fall for it. We need to make sure that we put this country first. We work well with our neighbours. We work well with other countries, but we have to look after ourselves too.
Well, I mean, those advocating for reparations would say, shouldn't we just make up for some of the damage we did through the slavery? And as a black woman saying that, they may find that hard to understand from you.
Well, there are many things that the British Empire got wrong, but there are many amazing things that the British Empire also did. And we need to be honest about that and stop pretending that it was all bad. The British Empire ended slavery, the Atlantic slave trade. We need to talk about that more.
Okay, hold on. Does that mean everything I thought about her is different after I saw this video? And the answer to that is no. On two hands, because on one side, I want to give her credit because she worked very hard. She worked really hard to be in that room And it appears that she's the only black person or one of the few black persons in that room. So I give her credit for that. That's no easy feat. She must have worked very hard. Her husband, Hamish, who is a British person, is the one who supported her throughout. And according to what I found in my research, they're happily married with 3 kids. And she's doing very great. So let's give her credit for her to even be able to rise up to that position. Now, on the second hand, if you look at what just happened in the US with Kamala Harris, whose dad is Jamaican, her mom is Indian, again, a woman of color, the US resoundingly rejected her. So it's not just that I'm happy that Kemi is able to get to this position, but then secondly, is she electable? Because the UK, we know, have a very strong racist mindset, especially for someone like Kemi, who's not an original British. She's basically an immigrant. And after she was born in the UK changed their citizenship laws. So even though if you go now and have a kid and take them back to Nigeria 2 months later, they don't become a citizen. So there's still that stigma that, okay, she's trying to change British. You can say Rishi Sunak is someone that, you know, is a person of color and was the British Prime Minister from 2022 to 2024. And he was defeated in the polls by Keir Starmer. But again, there are 2 different things because he's a guy, 1, and 2 is Indian origin, which, as we all know, Indians run the UK. And then more importantly, he's a multi-millionaire, if not a billionaire. So that aside, you also have to look at the populations of people who are Indian, South Asian origin compared to those who are Nigerian. The Indians and South Asian origins are more than Nigerian. But to the matter at hand, which is what baffles me the most, is what she was saying. She was saying things like reparations, we can't do reparations. The British was okay for what the British did, and let bygone be bygone, let's move forward. And that's what just got my attention. Like, is she just there as a puppet? Did they put her there just to do the dirty work of the UK? And this is something that I've talked about on this channel before, where you have white people in black skin. So again, we have to kind of think about this a little bit different. And honestly, I wish her well. Like I said earlier, I think she's worked really hard to get to this position. But I'm a bit disappointed at her for not wanting to embrace our Nigerian identity. I'm disappointed in her for not wanting to embrace who she is, even though her dad and mom are still Nigerians. You know, I get maybe like a half caste. Maybe you have someone who the dad or mom have been Nigerian, the other half parent is not Nigerian. I can relate to that, say, for example, her kids, you know. But if you are first generation, like your dad, your mom, they just came to the UK, they had you, like it's the practice of many Nigerians back in the day, then they brought you back to Nigeria and you were in Lagos. She probably understands Yoruba, I guess, and maybe even speak Yoruba. You know, I don't know the validity of that, but I'm just assuming she does. Well, at least her parents probably speak Yoruba to her, I would imagine. So for me, it kind of rubs me like a different way. I just don't feel good about that because I feel like she did not wholly embrace her identity. And these are the kind of people, when people like us, when we did UK, you are going to see them, they have like a Nigerian name or they look like Nigeria. And you talk to them and they just totally these guys. And it's also very common in the US, in Canada, Germany, all these European countries. It's very, very common. When you see people that they look Nigerian, you just like give them face and go, okay, this one is Nigeria, you know. But then they'll just ignore you. Or they'll start speaking for you. And you're like, guy, you know, your name is Adamu Adeleke. Like, I can see your name. Like, you know, you're Nigerian. But they say, oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Like, so it's just people that don't want to affiliate with the origin. And that does not do the black community well. Now, I understand some people might say, well, because of the problems of Nigeria, she wants to distance herself as far as possible. And I get that. But you should still be able to, when you are in the community, or when you are doing like volunteer service or community service, you should be able to show this is who you are and be proud of your heritage. Because with the way things are going, I myself am very skeptical of the UK. Again, in light of what just happened in the US, how most Americans rejected Kamala Harris, at least more than half. I think Trump won the popular votes as well as the electoral college votes. So a lot of that is just white people, other people saying, no, we're not ready for a black woman. So for the UK to kind of do this, it's nice to see because it's opposite of what happened in the US in terms of, it seems like they're embracing that in the UK. But it remains to be seen what will happen when the election comes up. What are your thoughts, guys? You see people like that they'll like distance themselves from Nigeria or from Cameroon or from Ghana or from their identity, African roots. And it's funny because a lot of times, some of these people that are older, they now want to come back to Africa. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in your comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next video. Bye, guys.